Thousands of years ago, when empires were forged by sword and strategy, when stone remembered names longer than human voices did, there was a name some tried to erase, a name that still gleams whenever dust falls from an ancient wall. We are here to bring it back. Hatshepsut, a program of rule that did not fade, and a woman who chose to define power differently. The ancient East throbbed with motion, armies moving like rivers of bronze, cities resisting and then parleying, alliances built as often as they were broken, kingdoms competing over routes of incense, copper, and stone. In this world, legitimacy was measured by capacity, by organization as much as by arms. Borders were drawn by the mind before they were traced on sand. From the heart of this world, a picture emerges of Egypt keeping the Nile as a spine, while extending influence like outstretched arms toward two seas. In this noise, Hatshepsut was born. Not merely a princess in a spacious palace, but a question suspended in the ceiling of history. Can authority wear a different crown and keep its awe? She grew among temple courts and palace halls, under the incense and the banners, with priests who read continuity in the steadiness of ritual. Early, a royal language formed around her, like bracelets made of words. Titles circled and condensed, honors that hinted even then that her role would be unusual. Power, she learned, was not volume or haste. It was equilibrium, symbol and statute, ritual and army, the spoken and the implied. She married Thutmose II and perfected an old craft of the court, to say what must be said and leave enough unsaid to be understood. Legitimacy, she grasped, is architecture, foundations in the ground, facades seen from far. If the foundation sways, facades are worthless. Then, a hinge in time. Hatshepsut would not remain merely king's wife. She would adopt the titulary of kings themselves. She becomes Insut Biti, king of Upper and Lower Egypt, and speaks with a voice that will not split, accountable to gods and people for balance kept. In reliefs, she appears with the symbolic false beard and the double crown, under phrases that point to Ma'at, measure, rightness, the cosmic straight line. This is not a denial of being a woman. It is a declaration that strength can wear a different crown and remain strength. Speech demands proof. Legitimacy needs works that can be seen. Thus begins the great workshop, architectural, economic, administrative, a redefinition of rule. Against the cliff, a project rises like a stone hymn, Deir el-Bahri. Terraces that answer the morning sun, straight axes that draw the eye from court to sanctuary, columns echoing the Nile's cadence, a facade of profound calm leaning on the mountain's shoulder. Architecture is not piled stone. It is policy written in shadow and light. It says, "Here stands order, not a passing whim." But a realm is not sustained by stone alone. In the bureaus, papyri settle into ledgers, taxes assessed, roads secured, Granaries watched, scribes fixing numbers like nails into reed boards. Trade routes open, north answers south, interior speaks to coast. And then the voyage that will become legend, the expedition to the land of Punt. Ships slip from river to sea like blue lines extending a signature across the horizon. Envoys return with incense, with saplings planted whole, with oils, resins, and stories of welcome. The voyage is cut into the temple walls like a moving fresco. Ships, trees carried with roots intact, faces of hosts and guests portrayed without ostentation. The message is plain. This is a government that looks beyond conquest and runs its economy with a cool eye and a waking mind. Where a vision gathers, questions breed. In the palace, the fine threads of advantage are woven and unpicked. Who gains? Who loses? Who guards the throne? Who guards the narrative? In narrow corridors, words are whispered. Can one born a woman be called king? Envy sits beside caution. Theology touches politics. Loyalties are tested. Interpretations collide. Every project that changes the shape of authority unsettles the habits of storytelling, and every threatened story searches for a way to remain. As years lean forward, another chapter prepares itself, no less dramatic than construction: erasure. The quietest cruelty is to remove the name, not the person, to reassign credit with the stroke of a chisel. Cartouches are scraped, lines are altered, noses of statues are broken, gaps are left like scars. No blood, no clamor, a war of memory waged in long silence. History steps back and murmurs, "We'll see to whom the tale will cling." But the material world has its stubborn art. Cutting leaves traces like old burns. Fragments tell their breaking by how they fit. Scratches on glyphs point to what was and to what some preferred not to be. This is where our investigation begins. Not to canonize a single version, but to read edits like marginalia, to tilt the slab until hidden lines show. We compare text with text, date repair against inscription. Ask why this name was removed and that remained, why one wall fell quiet while another still speaks. A figure clears. Hatshepsut was not an accident of succession, but a coherent program. Legitimacy built of symbol and deed together. Architecture that says what speeches cannot. An economy that feeds construction rather than draining it. An administration gripping the joints without noise. If the price of vision is sometimes to be contested after absence, its reward is to return from fragments and shadows, letters glowing more brightly each time erasure is tried. Why does this matter now? Because the question of legitimacy never dies. It changes shape, it trades languages, but remains a question of what power is and what it uses. Identity is not a banner waved. It is patient reading of a hard, honest medium that refuses to lie. If the name is scraped, stone incriminates the scraping. If lamps are doused, dawn will still wash the temple face. So we invite you to look with us and judge by what you see, not only by what someone wanted you to see. We will walk her steps deliberately, from a childhood seeded with royal language, to a regency that tested her grip on threads, to a throne redefined, not to change the gender of the wearer, but to remind us that justice and competence have none. We will lift our eyes to Deir el-Bahri at first light, to workshops that refused to sleep, to ships that penciled a line between Nile and sea, to intrigues that moved on their toes. We will turn the lens to the chisel, the scratch, the blank, not to condemn alone, but to understand, because understanding restores things to their places. This is the tale we bring and the inquiry we will complete, not with a judge's gavel, but with the viewer's sight. At the end, there is no noisy triumph, only a calm assurance. What is built on meaning does not vanish, and the name they tried to bury in dust will go on shining whenever a breeze moves across stone.
Enjoyed this? Subscribe to support us and help us keep uncovering the past. Next, Tutankhamun, Secrets of the Boy King.